Last week, the decision to revoke Shamima Begum's citizenship was deemed lawful. But today, a government terror watchdog has suggested the UK fall in line with other Western countries in repatriating former IS recruits. Jonathan Hall KC, King's Counsel, the independent reviewer of terrorism legislation, said that Ms Begum is as much of a threat overseas as she is over here, under the watchful eye of the UK's justice system, and should be allowed back. This comes after our friends and allies like Germany, France and Sweden have increasingly allowed hundreds of former IS supporters back into their countries. As Mr Hall has said, are we in danger of falling out of step with our allies on issues such as these? Well, I'm glad to say still with me are my panel, Kelvin Mackenzie and Lloyd Russell-Moyle. I'm not too fussed about being in step with our allies, but I think either you're a British citizen or you're not. And if you're a British citizen, you should be imprisoned in Britain if you've committed a crime, rather than thrown away.
She's not a British citizen.
On what basis is she Bangladeshi?
She's now stateless, right, which I am...
Well, we've said she's Bangladeshi.
Well, we hope she's Bangladeshi.
Well,
the Bangladeshis actually have said that they take her, actually, haven't they?
But she's not Bangladeshi. She's
never applied for citizenship. Could you
lose your citizenship?
Well, no, I would hope I would be to have my citizenship taken away if I were acting in the manner in which she chose to act. Let this be a warning to every other teenager out there who's thinking I'm going to go the same way.
I'll tell you why it's wrong. It's because citizenship can't be taken away from me, because I was born here and have no other citizenship. And I think there is an absolute equality of British citizenship. Either you are a British citizen entitled to those rights, or you're not, and I think taking it away is a discriminatory
same as a driving
policy.
licence. If you do something wrong, you're caught drink driving and kill somebody, then you lose your licence. And this is an honour to be a British citizen, and she has denied herself the honour.
A girl or a man raised here with British citizenship, Britain has to take some of the responsibility for this damaged individual.
Come on.
No. The responsibility is locking her up. The responsibility is giving her, the justice system putting her right, or locking her up forever if she can't be put right. But the idea that you say some of these poorest countries around the world should have to suffer people that were radicalised in Britain and then went off and caused havoc in their countries. No,
this must be right. We can't dump British citizens on some of the poorest countries in the world.
I hated that report, by the way. Honestly, the report was basically, look what the others have done, we should do it, or there's going to be some other issue in Turkey which is going to blow up, which is going to make this all impossible. It was a poor piece of work, that, by the way, and the idea that when she comes back here she'll be under the scrutiny of MI6 or whatever. Look what happened at the Manchester Arena, if you want to see what happens when you just trust the intelligence.
But you're back from Syria, you've been there recently, you've been to the camps. Yeah. And you think the Kurds would like to try her and then have her serve her sentence in the United Kingdom?
Yes. I mean, it's the third time I've been. I'm the only MP to have gone so regularly. I was the first to go. But I always take Conservatives with me because it has to be cross-party.
Well, hoping they'd stay out there.
And what they're saying to me quite clearly is that they think justice should be done where the crime has been committed, so that they want some sort of tribunal. They say they can't do those tribunals just alone, partly because they're an autonomous region within Syria and they need a legal backing from the Allies, and our troops are still there, of course, serving alongside them with Americans defeating ISIS, because it's an ongoing threat. But they then say, once the trial system is set up, and they also need support because there's 10,000 of these jihadis in these camps that need processing, then what should happen is these people should be repatriated to serve their sentences either in the countries that they come from or from a variety of host countries around the world. And we've done this before. When we did the tribunals in Rwanda, when we did them in Sierra Leone, and we did Yugoslavia, they were tried in international tribunals in Sierra Leone and Rwanda in the place that the crime had been committed. And then the international community agreed to host these people in prisons around the world.
One question?
And I think that's what should happen to her.
Can I ask one question? Do you know what kind of sentence I mean, I think you'd actually find some viewers would be in favour of this. What kind of sentence the Kurds would likely to hand out to a Shamima or a Begum figure?
Well, they say they've got enough evidence that she was complicit. That's what they say.
And what does that mean? Does she get 20 years?
No, I think it wouldn't be capital punishment, but I think they would consider it for life. They would think that these people should not be out again. And I've visited and spoken to some of these individuals, some of the jihadis and the Beatles, so not Shamima, but some of the others. And when I visited them, they haven't shown great remorse. In fact, I went to speak to one of them, and it was pointed out the two MPs that were visiting were both gay, and they would have killed us. And he responded saying, yes, I did that to some of my friends. So these are not people that I think need to be treated nicely, but these are people that we need to show and show justice happening, because actually the better deterrent, rather than is that you'll be randomly stripped of your citizenship, just like we did after the Second World War, after we did after Yugoslavia, after we did after all these, is that you have a trial and you lock them up for life and you show the world and you show the victims, because these people did horrific things to these victims.
That is true.
Justice
in fact,
is done.
the daughter of the shocking, the Haynes execution out there, which is beyond awful, when he was doing fantastic good work, honestly. Right, she says Shamima or Begum should not come back. OK, she says it. And actually, if we're going to have victim impact statements, the one that I would be listening to would be the family of somebody who had been murdered out there.
Yes, but if we get them back and try them, or they go to prison, that's
don't try
it abroad. I think that's a very good idea.
Try them abroad.
We've ended up with a surprising amount of agreement, which I didn't think we'd get on this particularly brilliant panel.